More about this rather special BSA shortly. I'll include this video in a number of clips I'll put together. This is just while I'm working on it, and hopefully it will verify that I've checked the ignition timing by strobe and found it to be spot on. Whether the camera will pick it up or not, I don't know, but I'll try. The full advanced timing line lines up with the stationary mark when the engine's red right up. There'll be an octopus to do this. You can see that there. Let's see if we can pick it up. Three hands. There it is. Whether the camera picked it up or... Well, my camera decided to cut me short there where I was strobe timing the ignition timing on this rather interesting and possibly unique BSA. At least I managed to verify that the ignition timing is actually spot on full advance. So that's another little thing to cross off the list. I've done the valve clearances, given it a full oil change, and it's got a spin-on filter as well. That's all been done, and the oil tank appeared to have no drain plug, the owner told me, but it's actually down there. You have to take the side panel off, and there's a big plug in the bottom of the tank down there to drain that. If we look around this side, you see the spin oil filter down there behind the back of the gearbox. It's not too close to the chain, it looks like it is, but it's got a fair bit of room there. And this is one of those BSA Triumph Fury Bandit frames, which someone's managed to put a BSA A65 engine into. There's literally just enough room to get the tank off, and then there's just enough room between the rocker cover and the frame to get the rocker cover off, and you can work on the valve clearances. So I've done that. I've checked the gearbox oil level. Well, I drained the gearbox oil because it didn't come out the level plug, so I drained it to see what was in there and how much, and it was quite clean, but there wasn't enough, so I put that back in actually and topped it up. The primary side had about twice as much oil in it as it should have done, so I've leveled that off. So all the oil levels are spot on. Like I said, there's fresh oil in the engine now and a clean spin-on filter, and we won't be too far away from possibly being able to take a ride on it. Got a few little bits and pieces left to do. Got to get the seat on, obviously, and hopefully we'll get a ride on this very interesting, possibly unique machine, although something leads me to believe that there may be at least one other one a bit like this out there somewhere. But nevertheless, very interesting, and it'll certainly be the first time I've ridden anything with such a frame. So an interesting little ride ahead, I would think, and hopefully fairly soon, all being well. Right, well, there's Charlie and Millie the cats, and here's a rather probably unique BSA, and it's an A65 engine in a Fury Bandit type frame and rolling chassis. I do believe that there may be one other like this in existence. I'm not quite sure, but it may be the only one. We've already seen it in a couple of clips where I've run it, and now I'm finally going to get the opportunity to take a short ride on it, because although it's very cold today, it's actually quite dry, and the roads should be relatively clean. So I'm hoping to get a few miles on this to make sure all is well, and not get it too dirty in the process. So I'm going to go now and get my helmet and jacket and everything on, and I'm also going to take a slightly different route to my normal one, as there's roadworks and traffic lights on the way down to the roundabout. So when I come down the hill from the next village, I'm going to be turning left rather than right, but I'm also going to use a couple of lay-bys along the way back, which made up the original old A40, which was replaced by the bypass in the early 1970s. So we'll have a bit of a change of scene and go right through the middle of the village as well, hopefully, just for a change. Anyway, less of the chat, I'll go and get ready to take it for a short ride. Okay, here's that rather special BSA A65 Bandit Fury special combination, and I'm ready to go and have a ride on it. I'm not going to try and pull the wool over anyone's eyes. It's a very cold day and I've warmed it up already on the choke. It's easy enough to start with the choke, but it's just very hard to get at the choke with a gloved hand once you're on the bike, and it's a lever for on or off on the choke, so I'm hoping to start it up with the choke off and ride away, although it does run quite weak until it's warmed up fully, so let's see how it goes. I've tried my best to aim the camera decently. Hopefully you get a reasonable view of the road and the sights ahead, and not the sky or the top of the tank, all being well. Let's go. Well, that all went very nicely indeed. The engine runs beautifully, the bike handles superbly, the brakes are good, it sounds fantastic. What a lovely machine. Takes a little while to get warmed up. Almost it's debatable whether perhaps raising the needle a click in the carburettor might help matters a little, but once it's fully warmed up the throttle response is fine. Might get a slight bit more kick in the pants and instant get up and go from cold if it was raised, but then it might run a bit too rich warmed up, I don't know. It's one of those things that I'll suggest to the owner he might like to try, but it might end up getting put back as it is, because it's alright as it is really. It's got a single McCuney carburettor on it, by the way. I don't think there'd be room in there to get a pair of carburettors in, but it seems to go alright on the one. Got that nice steady slow tick over that they're almost famed for, these things. They're a nice bike. We also took in a few little bits of the old A40, the pre-74 stretches that used to go right through the village before the bypass was built. I thought I'd take that in for a change. So there we are. Anyway, I think we're okay with this one, so it's another one probably done and finished with.